Well, hey there folks, Tip here, Stupid Gardener. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Well, this is going to be our first video of our 2022 growing season for our raised garden bed. And what I've decided to do, instead of having these individual raised beds, I'm just going to have one big raised bed. So I'm going to be filling in this middle area here with compost. And I kind of measured it out, and I can probably do like maybe a 24 by 32 foot area where I can get a lot more vegetables in, a lot more growing, and should keep us stocked up on vegetables for a while. So the first thing I need to do, I'm clearing out this middle area here where I put down a whole bunch of wood chips last year. And I tell you what, these wood chips have really reacted to the soil that's underneath there. Being here in North Carolina, we have this clay soil, kind of sandy, and it's very difficult to grow in. That's why I went to the raised garden beds that I have. But now I'm just going to do the whole thing. It's going to be like one big raised garden bed. Now, the number one thing I'm going to need is going to be compost. I have like 4 or 5 compost bins, but I'm not going to have enough to cover here. So I'm going to have to go out and purchase some compost. Now, I could go to the big box store and buy the bags, but I think that would be way too expensive. So I've kind of looked online in the area where we live here in North Carolina, and there's a few different ways that I can go. There's a local nursery here in town that will sell a cubic yard of compost, and I think it's like $32 or something like that, which is kind of expensive, a lot more than it was 4 or 5 years ago. Or I can go to the town, and I think the town here is selling their compost for like $24 a yard, which is still kind of expensive. But I think in the long run, it's going to be cheaper. Now, at this landscaping place here in town, they said that this compost is 99.9% organic, and I think that's great. I don't know how they do that, but I'll find out once I go down there, and I'll just ask them some. Now, I know at the landfill, I had a friend of mine that went down there and got a bunch of compost there. And he did say at the landfill it was full of some chunks of plastic, some metal, and different things like that, because most of that stuff is coming from what people are putting out on their front lawns for the town to pick up, and that's how they compost it. So I'm going to have to kind of weigh the difference between the two and just see. I want to keep it as organic as possible, because I know my compost is organic. Everything that I'm getting from the yard, I don't put any chemicals really down on my lawn. My kitchen scraps, the leaves and things, I know that is organic, and that's the way I want to keep this as organic as possible. You know, that soil really needs to be organic. I don't need chunks of plastic in there that's going to affect the plants or the growing or the breakdown of this compost once I put it in there. So that's one thing I'll have to check. I'll have to drive by there and just see if they'll let me look at it and kind of. Okay, so now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to be pulling up this raised cedar bed and getting all the cedar out of there, so it'll just be one. I'm going to just store these away. I may be able to use these for a later project. I could use it for the edging, and also, so I think I'm just going to put them away, and maybe my son will use it down at his house if he wants to put in a raised garden bed down there. I'll just hang on to them. And what I think I'm going to use for the edge is these cinder blocks right here, and that's about 6 inches there. So that's a good amount of good compost and soil that I'll be able to plant in, and that's just what we need here to do here for this raised garden bed. I've already put a few back along the edge there where the cedar was rotting away. It was probably there about 5 years or so. So I think these cinder blocks will probably be something better to use. It'll, you know, they'll be there forever. So that's just what we need. It's a little bit cheaper to use than just paying for wood and building something. So this should work. I'll just have to stop buying these when I go by the big box store. I'll probably buy 10 at a time, just so I have to bring them all in at once and carry them. So I just wanted to show you this, and we're going to work today on just getting all these wood chips off. And one last thing that I need to do before I expand out is the state of North Carolina, they offer this service where they will come in and spray paint down where your power lines are. Our power lines run from our house, they go underground, and there's a telephone pole out there close to the road where everything goes to. So it's important if you're in a suburban area like we are, not to dig in those areas because you'll cut your power off. And I've done it before. I've cut our cable off when I was digging up there in the back. So that's one thing that needs to get done. It's a free service. Hopefully I can get them in this week, and it'll kind of show where I can expand to. I may have to reconfigure and go more that way. I kind of know where they are, but I just want to make sure that I'm not covering those. It's a very important thing to do if you live in a suburban area. Okay, got everything cleared off there, got all that bark mulch out of there, and I just piled it up over there where my shed is there. And once we get all the compost in, that will be our top layer. I really could have left some of that there and just put carpet over the top of it, but I want to reuse it for the top. I like to have bark mulch covering all my beds when I'm planting. It keeps the weeds down, keeps the moisture in, and everything like that. So next video, we'll be going getting some compost. We'll check on the pricing and all that good stuff, and we'll start filling this in and get ready for planting in the springtime. And I tell you what, it's beautiful here in North Carolina. It's in the 70s today. I believe Christmas Day, I think it got up to almost 78 degrees, which is unbelievable. So a perfect day to be out here and getting all this work done. So with that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Don't forget, we are on Instagram as well as Facebook, The Stupid Gardener. Feel free to follow along there. We always post pictures up there of what's going on here in the backyard. So until the next video, thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and put a comment down below. But we'll see you on the next one. Everyone take care. God bless everybody.